Global crash and earthly Armageddon. Elias Kaliotis, a Greek member of parliament, a politician, and a professor, explains what's going to happen. The leader of the world's largest bank, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, said that World War III has just begun. The man who leads the world's largest financial institution by market capitalization emphasized that JP Morgan has run scenarios that are shocking and that a geopolitical tsunami will drown us all. Dimon, who has been touted as a possible bipartisan nominee for Treasury Secretary, said the economic outlook is minuscule compared to the geopolitical situation we are facing. Let's take things in order. To come and experience a global crash is not news. That the world markets have crashed is no surprise at all to all those who have studied diligently, researching extensively and in depth, and it all takes place in the dark halls of enlightened politicians everywhere and economists. The markets going big bang is the next global step and phase of the planned sequence of events concerning a great reset, along with some of their notorious puppets reporting from time to time for many decades, such as, for example, Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab. And among the plans, it would be indeed news if the global crash did not come. It would indeed be news if the current global economic situation and current financial trajectory continued. It would be news if something changed in between and ongoing and undeclared concerning the Third World War, which has been directed from behind the scenes. It could be by New Age moles and their proxies. And the professor says, I've written again and again, the course of the world is directed through lodges, brotherhoods, and secret societies and backrooms. It's only bitter, deadly, and irrevocable truth. And in the end, the enemy of mankind, backrooms, pre-planned wars. And this global Armageddon will happen. The vast majority of experts try to predict futures to happen with theories and models and simulations and complex computer programs, but what are the experts supposed to predict? When again and again, for decades, there are those kingpins that are pulling the strings. What are they planning to do? The experts continue to make predictions, and we hear and read it's possible that there will be another war, or that the US and NATO intervene in the Middle East conflict so that the war does not spread and become global, etc. Are we laughing or are we crying? Unfortunately, very few have noticed that our world is very much like a giant shadow theater right now, financed, produced, written, directed by New World Order. Unfortunately, there are very few who have understood the course of the world is not in the hands of the front and famous chosen puppeteers performing on the world stage of this shadow theater. In the world shadow theater, for example, the otherwise all-powerful president, Joe Biden, is equivalent of a shadow puppet waving back and forth and with a polished log, and where the otherwise powerful president is doing well, there are those that throw him a stick and drag him, pulling him off the stage, as we see what's happened. He's been replaced by Kamala Harris. And that's not all, because even these very words of the famous Joe are not his own, since these words are spoken by invisible producers and screenwriters, right? And telling even Kamala Harris each time the words that they have to speak. Yet it's only logic, tragic, horrible, very bitter reality. Famous world leaders are accomplices, mouthpieces, and pawns in an infamous game of stooges. The current stage and script of ongoing global shadow government. The current world scene, ongoing war scenario have been planned and prepared. This professor says. The planned ignition, pre-planned continuation, targeting diffusion of regional wars with a particular geostrategic emphasis on the Ukraine and the Middle East. All premeditated, dry health and geowarfare antecedents and prerequisites of perhaps a nuclear outcome, and the continuation of geoengineering preparation both for dispersion of all kinds of nano gadgets. Which geophysical phenomena for the happy and careless amused spectators of the World Shadow Theater will be blamed and will be unambiguously solely the blame for the dishonorable climate change. Now, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan says the World War III just begun. Let's then take a look at some pre-orbital work, as well as some of the other transnational preparations taking place around the world. Robert Kiyosaki on 2024 said the biggest crash in history is coming soon, and we're on the brink of World War III. The famous economist Harry Dent said in 2024 the biggest crash of all time will happen. Nouriel Roubini said economic and financial crash is coming. The crash starts soon and will last 3 years, like 1929 to 1933. That's what happened then. And Universa Investment says global financial crisis worse than 1929 is coming, etc. And in addition to these, the facts that the planet is heading towards the earthly Armageddon is shown by a series of other transnational events and pre-war developments. There are many geo-war conflicts and geopolitical signs that show us very clearly that the decades-old plans bringing wars closer and closer with each passing day. And with the World Theater of Shadows, a famous stage character has repeatedly given recitals of warning preparations during the last years, methodically uttering them as a voice of an invisible prophet. And no other character in the World Shadow Theater has uttered the words World War III as many times as the extraordinary versatile character running for president. Now, if you listen and translate and feel and finally understand what the intermediate theatrical shadow character former and ruler say, we have to understand the dark pentarchy of tycoon saying meaning through the front stage characters. This is what the Professor Ilias Kallioris says, former member of Greek Parliament. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.